Small mammals in the Leporti family are known by the common term rabbit, which is actually Oryctolagus cuniculus. The European rabbit, Oryctolagus cuniculus, the eastern cottontail, Sylvilagus floridanus, and the snowshoe hare, Lepus americanus, among others, are some of the different species of rabbits. Herbivorous rabbits are distinguished by their long ears, short, fluffy tails, and strong hind legs. They can move swiftly to flee from predators thanks to their body's small and nimble composition. Lepus species are often altricial, meaning they are born hairless and blind and require more care, whereas rabbit species are precocial, meaning they are born reasonably grown, mobile, with hair, and decent vision. While the majority of rabbits live in social groupings in burrows or warrens, hares live a comparatively lonely existence in a small nest above the earth. Hares typically outweigh rabbits in size and have longer, wider, and more extended hind legs. They also have longer ears. In contrast to hares, which have not been domesticated, descendants of the European rabbit are frequently bred as livestock and kept as pets. The breed known as the Belgian hare is actually a domestic rabbit that has been carefully developed to resemble a hare. Crepuscular animals, such as rabbits, are most active during dawn and twilight. They are burrowers and build intricate networks of underground tunnels known as warrens that offer cover and safety. To provide for a swift escape from predators, these burrows frequently include many entrances and exits. Being a prey animal, rabbits are always alert of their surroundings. Rabbits, for instance, are the primary prey of red foxes, badgers, and Iberian lynxes in Mediterranean Europe. A rabbit may freeze to study a potential threat and then give a loud thud to alert other rabbits in the warren. Rabbits' field of vision is extraordinarily wide, and a significant portion of it is used for overhead scanning. The doe, mother, will avoid the nest to prevent placing the kids, in danger. She will only visit the nest a few times per day to feed the kits, because she is aware that her scent attracts predators. Rabbits avoid predators by burrowing, running away in a zigzag pattern, and, if they are caught, kicking them hard with their back legs. They can eat and bite to get away from a fight because of their powerful teeth. The oldest known rabbit perished at the age of 18 and was a tamed European bunny living in Tasmania. Wild rabbits have substantially shorter lives. An eastern cottontail, for example, often lives less than a year. North America is home to more than half of the world's rabbits. They are also indigenous to sections of Africa and South America, as well as Southwest Europe, Sumatra, several Japanese islands, and Southeast Asia. They are not naturally present in the majority of Eurasia, where there are several hare species. As a result of the Great American Interchange, rabbits only recently made their way to South America. While the majority of South America's southern cone is devoid of rabbits, a large portion of the continent only possesses one species of rabbit, the tapiti. The chewed plant matter gathers in the big cecum, a second chamber located between the large and small intestines and home to a significant population of symbiotic bacteria that aid in the digestion of cellulose and also create a number of B vitamins. The pellet's average protein content of 24.4% is partly explained by the presence of around 56% bacteria by dry weight in the pellets. Here, soft feces develop and have up to 5 times the amount of vitamins as hard feces. They are consumed whole, by the rabbit and retigust in a specific area of the stomach after being ejected. The bacteria within the pellets continue to break down the plant sugars for up to 6 hours while they are still in the stomach. As hindgut digesters, rabbits. This indicates that their big intestine and cecum are where the majority of their digestion occurs. The cecum, which together with the large intestine makes up around 40% of the rabbit's digestive tract, is about 10 times larger than the stomach. The cecum's distinctive musculature enables the intestinal tract of the rabbit to distinguish between food that is more easily digested and passable as feces and food that is more nutritious and is wrapped in a mucus coating as a cecotrope. Cecotropes, often known as night feces, are rich in nutrients that are essential for the health of the rabbit, including minerals, vitamins, and proteins. These provide as a source of nutrients for rabbits. When people released rabbits into the wild, it caused environmental issues. Feral rabbit depredation can be a concern for agriculture due to their appetites and the speed at which they reproduce. Rabbit populations have been managed through fumigation of warrens, gassing, fencing, shooting, snaring, and ferreting, but the most successful methods involve viruses like calicivirus and myxomatosis. A genetically modified virus is used to protect rabbits in Europe, where large-scale rabbit farming is practiced, against myxomatosis and calicivirus. The virus was created in Spain and is useful to growers of rabbits. Given that those diseases pose the greatest dangers to rabbit survival, if it were to spread to wild populations in places like Australia, it might lead to a population boom. In Australia and New Zealand, rabbits are seen as such a nuisance that landowners are required by law to control them. Rabbits do display some levels of problem-solving skills, despite the fact that they are not often thought of as extremely intellectual creatures when compared to other species. They may be taught to recognize their owners, comprehend simple instructions, and utilize litter boxes. Depending on the species, rabbits can live in groups or pairs and are generally gregarious creatures. Within their communities, they create hierarchical systems and communicate through a combination of vocalizations, body language, and scent marking. For the purpose of forming social ties and preserving group cohesiveness, they engage in grooming behaviors. Foxes, coyotes, wolves, birds of prey, snakes, and domesticated pets like cats and dogs are just a few of the rabbit's natural predators. Rabbits have developed a number of defense strategies to escape being trapped. To identify potential hazards early, they rely on their exceptional hearing and scenting abilities. Rabbits have the ability to sprint quickly and zigzag to frighten away predators when they feel threatened. In the event that they are trapped, they can also kick hard with their back legs. The silky fur that covers a rabbit's tiny body is colored differently depending on the species and the individual. Their eyes are normally big and placed on the sides of their head, giving them a wide field of vision. Their ears are long and can be held erect or folded down. As herbivores, rabbits mostly eat plant matter like grass, leaves, twigs, and bark. Their diet varies according to their habitat and the food that is available. It is significant to remember that deer and rabbits are separate species with no connection to one another in terms of extinction. Although certain species of deer have seen population decreases owing to causes like habitat degradation and hunting, they have not gone extinct. Deer are an entirely different family of ungulates known as Cervidae. Because of their numerous activities, people have drastically harmed rabbit habitats. The loss and fragmentation of rabbit habitats is a result of agricultural practices, urbanization, and deforestation. Furthermore, the introduction of non-native species, like rabbits, to new settings can harm local ecosystems because these animals may outcompete native species for resources. Meadows, woods, forests, grasslands, deserts, and marshes are among the habitats for rabbits. The most well-known species of rabbit, the European rabbit, lives in burrows, sometimes known as rabbit holes, in groups. Warren is the name for a collection of burrows. North America is home to more than half of all rabbits in the globe. Additionally, they are indigenous to sections of Africa and South America, as well as Southwest Europe, Sumatra, Southeast Asia, and some Japanese islands. The majority of Eurasia is home to several hare species, but they are not natively present there. In the recent Great American Interchange, rabbits made their first foray into South America. While there are no rabbits in the majority of South America's southern cone, a large portion of the continent is home to the tapiti, a single species of rabbit. There are several locations in the world where the European rabbit has been introduced. The so-called Chinese rabbits were imported from Europe, according to a recent study. There was virtually little genetic variation among Chinese rabbits. The Easter bunny, a rabbit historically connected with spring and Easter, is frequently utilized as a symbol of fertility or rebirth. In folklore and contemporary children's stories, rabbits frequently figure as sympathetic characters, able to relate readily with youngsters of all kinds, for example, the Velveteen Rabbit or Thumper in Bambi. The species' function as a prey animal with minimal defenses conveys vulnerability and innocence. The purposeful introduction of rabbits by humans for use as pets or as game in some situations has led to population expansions and ecological imbalances in some areas. Through actions like habitat preservation and invasive species management, efforts have been undertaken to manage rabbit populations and lessen their detrimental effects on ecosystems. Overall, rabbits are intriguing animals with special traits and adaptations that have enabled them to flourish in a variety of habitats.